All right, I guess let's get started. Welcome to our webinar, How to Sell More Umbrella SIG and DNS with Encapto. I'm Adam Lagan, Head of Operations at Encapto, and I'll be the MC today. Now, just a heads up, we will be recording the session and it will be available to watch back and to share with your colleagues. We'll send a link out in an email later this week or next week. So, introducing our speakers. Our speakers today are Daryl Clark, our CEO, Mike Farrer, our CTO, and Chris Evans, our sales lead. You can see them all on the video call today. And for our agenda today, you can expect to learn how to quickly go to market with compelling SMB and enterprise security propositions using our integration with Cisco AnyConnect or Cisco Meraki to deliver secure office and remote work outcomes. Our CEO, Daryl, will walk you through what we are seeing as the opportunities and challenges that face the market today. Our sales lead, Chris, will introduce you to Encapto MSP and explain the 3 pillars that serve as our foundation. Then we'll have a live demo from our CTO, Mike, and then back to Daryl to briefly outline our commercial model. And finally, at the end, we'll have 10 to 15 minutes for a Q&A session. So please use the dedicated Q&A chat box if you do have any questions along the way, and we'll make sure one of the speakers has some time at the end to answer those questions for you. So that's everything for our agenda, and I'll hand over to Daryl to get us started.
Thanks, Adam. So I just want to talk about the changes in the SMB landscape, which are really presenting the opportunity of the decade for the well-positioned IT service provider. You know, what we're seeing is many businesses will continue to support hybrid work, and that's businesses of every size, but particularly small and medium business, as they're realizing they need to invest in improved security and connectivity, you know, to support these work from home initiatives. We're seeing businesses are also increasingly relying on outsourced network management, things that generate efficiencies and results in better use of their resources and, you know, reduced expenditure for them. And we see that channel partners can play a very strong role in this motion. SME spending alone on cybersecurity worldwide is expected to increase by 14% per year between 2021 and 2026. You know, that's an increase from 46 billion to 72 billion over the same period. So we need to think about the SMB behaviours, and they've changed really based on, you know, the experiences over the last 2 years, but also the current economic outlook. And it's not all bad news for the MSPs, right? It's good news. Hybrid work is here to stay. You know, SMB IT priorities are centred around supporting this. Security is now an increasing priority for business. So starting with point 1, you know, today's businesses, you know, they want outcomes over ownership for technology purchases. They expect easy to comprehend offers that speak in plain English, perhaps to supporting the needs of their business operations. And the next point, the SMB is a limited budget segment, right? They're going to want to purchase services as and when they need them, and they want them for a low monthly fee. I'd also like to call out here really the importance of providers and their need to look at how efficient and low touch their service delivery is. You know, and that really is because it's critical to meet with SMB price points and importantly, protect the provider margins. Point 3, SMBs have exactly the same needs of the largest companies, but they've really got limited technical resources. So SMBs are starting to reevaluate their channel partnerships, and they're seeking trusted partners, you know, partners who can guide them through these complex technology purchasing decisions. And lastly, you know, the modern day, people are expecting Amazon-like buying experiences and Apple-like activations. You know, these have set the bar and are really driving customer expectations. That means technology officers should be easy to purchase online. They need to be flexible. They need to talk to the needs of the business and the size of the business as well. And that's as they grow, but also as they contract, perhaps. And today's customers, thinking about them being time poor, they have a preference for self-service. They're gone are the days of picking up the phone or emailing support for the most basic of changes. They very much like to self-service. So I'm going to hand over to Chris Evans now, who's going to talk a little bit about Encapto.
Thank you, Dale. And it's for those challenges that Darryl outlined there for partners trying to serve the SMB market, which is exactly why we built Encapto. So Encapto simplifies network as a service creation and streamlines operations so you can unlock those managed service opportunities really quickly. It's a single platform to help you sell, activate and support your managed services whilst reducing cost and also delivering an amazing customer experience. And we do this in 3 ways, right? There's 3 pillars, as Adam referred to at the beginning of the call. There's Unify, Sell, and Command. Unify is our partner branded, partner curated dashboard, which they can extend to the end user, so that the end user can get proof of value, see what the managed service is delivering for them with some network metrics and some security metrics, as well as also, if the partner allows, some co-management, so they can do some basic day-to-day support stuff like change the name of their SSID or change the password on their managed Wi-Fi, stuff that you really don't want it to be turning into a support call with the MSP. Sell is the ability for a partner to deliver or to build a web store or marketplace, whatever you want to call it, where you can, or the partner can put up packages which really make sense to the business that they're trying to sell into. So there'll be packages that are bundles or subscription-like solutions, network as a service, security as a service, and the partner can design a whole bunch of add-ons and design that whole customer journey for a customer to come in and be that Amazon-like experience like Darryl referred to, right? So a real digital-first experience buying network as a service and security as a service solutions. And finally, we've got Command. So Command is the real brains of the Encapto platform. It's where the MSP can really manage the whole Encapto experience for their customers. And the thing that we're really going to focus on here more than anything is the ability for Command to take orders, whether it's from a web store or from other means, and automatically provision those solutions in the Meraki and Cisco management interfaces in the cloud, right? So therefore reducing cost, being able to scale massively, and deliver those solutions faster out to the market, but more importantly, really reducing that operational cost. So let's have a look at each 3 of those pillars in more detail. Next slide, please, Adam. So this is Unify. So Unify is the customer dashboard that the partner can curate and extend to the customer. And some of the functionality that the partner might want to extend to the customer here would be the ability to really see some proof of value, right? So the ability to see some security stats, such as what attacks have been or how many attacks have been blocked, what security licensing the customer has across the organization, what's happening with the security devices, who's got a remote work from home device, how much security licensing they've got, what they're using, and maybe what they've got left as well. So it's really providing that sort of proof of value for that managed service. I think one of the struggles that the security market has, particularly MSSPs, when they're selling security as a service, is how do they, really show value to the customer, right? Sure, hopefully their network's being protected with that monthly service, but how does the customer really know that? How do they know that service is working for them? So a dashboard like this is really, really powerful in terms of them seeing some value. What is it that my MSSP is delivering to me each month? And I can actually see it in action. And, it would definitely, differentiate you from the competition, as well as also make it a lot easier when it comes to that renewal time, right? So they understand the value that's been delivered to them. in talking about value, you know, you can also extend some co-management features down to the customer, right? So again, so that they're not having to bother you for a support call every time they need to do something. And you know, one of the or a couple of things that we've developed here within the Encapto integration with Cisco Umbrella is the ability for the customer to see, you know, what licensing they currently have, what cloud security license, user licenses they got, and sure enough, if they want to allocate that around their organization, you can allow them to do that, right? So it's in a much more simplified manner than if they were trying to deal with, you know, a Cisco umbrella management interface. Thank you. So the next part of the platform is Encapto Sell. So this is the ability for a partner to build a web store, right, targeted at the particular markets or business segments that they go for, with real sort of just right propositions, right, for their customers to come in and buy in a really, really simple manner. So the way this works is that the partner builds a whole bunch of inventory items. Sure enough, they would be, you know, Cisco, SIG licensing, DNS, but then also if they're doing network and bundling that together as well, you know, some Meraki devices, the full Meraki stack, your MXs, your MRs, your MSs, right? Build a whole bunch of inventory items. They don't have to be just Cisco. They can also be their own products as well. So they might have their installation services or premium support, you know, their own products that they can put into the mix as part of these propositions. And basically what the partner can do is build these like bundles, as I like to call them. They're, you know, Cisco led subscriptions, they're plans, if you like. Often the way that these are presented are sort of almost like these t-shirt type offerings. So, you know, small, medium, large. So you could have a small office, a medium office bundle, and a large office bundle. And maybe you might have a remote worker option there as well, as an example, right? And then the customer would come in and be able to, you know, select what bundle or proposition really makes sense to them, right? Again, in, you know, plain English, as Dal will put it, right? You know, simplified so that, particularly if we're talking about the small to medium business market, it's not a technical speak, it's an outcome based speak. And the partner can then select on there a whole bunch of add-ons. Let's just go back there, please, Adam. They can select a whole bunch of add-ons, which can be then selected when the bundle's picked, so that it really rounds out the solution for the customer, right? So the customer doesn't want to be going elsewhere to select or to purchase what they need. They want that single source from the partner, and more importantly, the partner doesn't want to be leaving money on the table, right? So they want to be that sole supplier for everything that the customer would need for their business network and security solution. On that, then after that, you know, you allow the customer to check out in whatever easy method you want them to do. You know, the obvious one is, you know, put in your credit card, sign up to an account. They would check out, and of course, what we've delivered there, or what the partner's delivering, is really that Amazon-like experience to buy network as a service and security as a service solutions, right? That digital first experience. No need to have to get on the phone and wait for getting through to a call center, or, you know, waiting for an account manager to turn up and buy your coffee, right? You know, small to medium business owners, they may not be technical. They certainly haven't got time, as Dale related to at the beginning of the call, right? They're time poor, right? They don't want to be hassled to buy this, right? They want to be able to get in there and buy these sort of solutions, just like they buy anything else on Amazon, right? And I think, you know, Encapto really is trying to deliver that experience for the end users via the customer, via the partner. And next slide, please, Adam. And then the final part of the platform is Encapto Command, right? So as I said before, this has got lots of functionality in there to manage the whole Encapto experience for the customers. There's troubleshooting capabilities in there. There's abilities to see, you know, how many customers have been provisioned, how many devices have been provisioned during the month. There's a whole billing sort of capability in there, and accounting capability in there. Lots of, you know, features in there, right? But the thing I'm really going to focus on here at the moment is the ability for the services, as they come in from your web store or from other means, to be automatically provisioned, right? So we did a recent survey with a with a large service provider here in Europe, where we really sort of analysed the cost of the automatic provisioning engine from Encapto against them doing a manual, sort of how they're doing it at the moment, a manual setup of these managed services, right? And we took two examples. One would be a small to medium business with, I think, a Meraki MX, couple of MRs and MS, bit of Cisco umbrella over the top, right? And then we also took another example, which was sort of on the other end of the scale, which I think was a 200 site WAN. So think of it as sort of like a retail rollout, right? For a retailer with 200 sites with a little bit of network in each. And when we compared it to how the Encapto platform can take the order, can then go and automatically provision in the Meraki and Cisco clouds, right, via API, does it instantly in minutes. We can provision thousands of endpoints, right, in minutes, right. Massive scale, massive reduction in cost. I think the figures came out that there was a minimum of about 80% cost reduction, right, which was huge, right? And when you were looking at some of those bigger networks, really became clear to the SP about how much the provisioning engine would save them money and time as well, right? So think of this as it's a little bit like your network engineering team, right? They never go on holiday. They work 24/7, right? They're not like BT engineers over in the UK that are going on strike, right? They don't go to smoko. They don't get sick. And more importantly as well, they never make errors, right? So, one of the big problems with provisioning is if an error gets put in there, a human error, it can often really sort of become, elevated in terms of an issue as things, progress, right? You have to roll back things out and find out, where that error took place. So you might think that we're a little bit off the subject, I guess, around, how to sell more umbrella and SIG, but the argument here is that if you can really reduce your operational cost from where it is at the moment when delivering these sort of services, then you can probably reduce the cost to go to market, your price point for your service when you're in the market, which hopefully you would think would make you a lot more competitive against your competition with similar sort of offerings. So that's really where this automation really comes into play, is to reduce that operational cost and make you really competitive, and hopefully it means that you're going to sell more. So I think that's enough about me, talking away and these slides, right? So I'm going to hand it over to Mike, who's going to actually give you a live demo of the Encapto platform. Thanks, Mike.
Cool. Thanks, Chris. All right, let me just share my screen. All right. You guys can see all that. Okay, so I've logged in as an MSP admin into Encapto MSP, and I'm going to guide you guys through the processes of product creation, order capture, order processing, and then finally the customer dashboard. So the first thing you'll need to do is set up all the inventory items that you want to sell. And so inventory items are hardware devices, they're software licenses, and they can also be custom services and custom products. I'll just briefly show you the modal, see what it looks like. So over here we can see a list of all the built-in types in Encapto MSP. And so these built-in types we've got automated provisioning for, and we've got customer widgets for as well. You can also add your own types, right? So there's nothing stopping you from adding premium support, or Office 365, or printers, or any other peripherals into your product bundles as well. So here's a bunch of items I prepared earlier. Notably, I've got Cisco Umbrella SIG user license. And so in Umbrella, we support 2 licenses. We've got SIG and we've got DNS Essentials. In this demo, I'm going to be demonstrating SIG. Once you've defined all your items, now you can go into product creation. All right, and so here I've created a product called Secure Workplace IT for Small Business. It's got 3 plans: Secure Remote Worker, Secure Workplace Small, and Secure Connected Office. We dig into those plans. So each plan will have its own SKU, its own pricing configuration, a description of the outcomes. So this is what the customer's going to see when I show you the web page, the web store in a little bit. And then it's got the inventory items that comes with it. So for the Secure Remote Worker, it comes with a Z3, and it comes with a single SIG user license. If I look at Secure Workplace Small, same sort of thing again. This time comes with an MX. It's got 10 licenses, and it's got a wireless access point. Similar sort of thing for the Secure Connected Office. Then you can define your add-ons. And again, you can do this for each plan. So that way, when your customer is purchasing a particular plan, they'll see relevant add-ons. So for secure remote worker, they can get a wireless access point, and they can also purchase premium support. And so this is an example of an other type of inventory item where you, the MSP, are adding your own services in there. If I look at Workplace Small, there's a whole bunch of items in here. Wireless access points, cameras. Again, they can buy additional Cisco umbrella licenses here, and there's premium site support. Secure Connected Office can have its own as well, and there's also checkout. The checkout is just like the supermarket when you're checking out and you can buy lollies and all those sort of last-minute purchases. And so again, you can go, right, well, maybe they want some more umbrella user licenses, or maybe they want this really cool printer. Now that you've defined the product, we can talk about order capture. And so there's several means for order capture. There's the web store, which I'll show in a second. There's CSV, and so that's for doing orders in bulk or for assisted sales. And we've got APIs if you've got another system that can call us. And we've also got integrations to other vendors, for instance, AppDirect. Let's have a look at the web store today. Okay, so you can see a web store's been generated. It's using branding from the MSP configuration. So as part of the first time setup, you'll set up your own branding, and that branding will be shown in the customer portal as well as the web store. Oh, and the emails as well. So any email notifications sent to the customer, they'll be branded under your account. So they can see the 3 plans here. They can get as many of these plans as they want. So perhaps they want to set up 3 remote workers, click add. Then we show the relevant add-ons for that plan. It's like, oh yeah, you know what, I do want premium support. They can add a workplace spawn as well. Again, they see relevant add-ons, right? Maybe they want some more user licenses, and then they can go to checkout. In the checkout, they can see the details of everything they've bought. I think my number's actually increased here. So this actually remembers what you've got from a previous session, just like Amazon. And so I can adjust those counts down back to what I actually want. I can see the checkout add-ons here. And so, perhaps I'm going to get a couple of these super duper printers. Once the customer's happy with what they're getting, they can click checkout. I'm not going to show you the process for this. It's a bog standard checkout process where they specify their account, their address, they click order, and then they'll get an order notification email. Thank you for your order. This is what you ordered. Your order's in progress. What happens in Encapto MSP is that an order is created over here. I'm going to show one that's already complete. Okay. So the order will capture all the customer details, and it'll capture everything that they've ordered, right? And then from this, we'll generate order steps. And now we're kind of talking about order processing. And so there's a bunch of built-in steps. The send acknowledgement email is the first thing that happens, and that's sending a customer an email saying, thank you for your order, it's in progress, we'll be in touch soon. We create them a subscription and do other sort of admin-related tasks. In this Encapto MSP example, we've got a ConnectWise manage integration, and so we're creating a ConnectWise company account. They ordered a Z3, and so we're going to create a Meraki organization for them. We'll claim the Meraki order. We'll assign the Meraki licenses. Now we get to the umbrella steps. And so there are several things that need to happen when creating an umbrella account for a customer. The first off, we create the umbrella sub-account. Then we automatically procure the required number of SIG user licenses from the MSLA account, and we assign them to the user account. And then the order is going to stop with a manual step. And so our order processing supports both automated and manual. Most of them are automated, but there are manual steps. And in this case, for umbrella, it'll stop with the manual step for you to create policies for the customer. And so this is where your expertise comes in, right? So you know your customers, you know IT security, and so you know the relevant policies for your customers and what are the relevant policies. And so the thing to keep in mind here, and which I'll show in a little bit, is that your customers are going to be able to apply those policies themselves. And so you can create a bunch of policies, just a handful, like remote worker, secure office, road warrior. things that make sense to your customer, because in their dashboard, they're going to be able to apply those policies if you allow it. Finally, the order is complete. All right, and so now we set up the customer account. The next step is to set up the customer sites. And so that's these two orders here. And so you can see in this one, what it's done is allocated the Z3 to a site, right? And so we're creating a Meraki combined network and putting the device into that network. And then this one here, it's doing umbrella. Now, because we know when we're doing this allocation, we can see that there's a Z3 in the same site as the umbrella license. We'll automatically link, we'll automatically link the Z3 to umbrella via a network tunnel. And so that's done automatically. And so when the customer gets the device, we get Z3, they plug it in, and straight away it's working, it's connected to umbrella, and it's secure. Once the allocation's done, then the entire order is complete. And so what that means is the customer is going to get an email saying, hey, your account is ready, hardware's on the way, click this link to activate your dashboard. I'll show you that dashboard in a sec. And in the MSP admin console, you're going to have a new customer entry. Right, Mike's Pastries, you can see the subscriptions that they've got and all the details of that subscription, right? What they ordered, what the serial numbers are. In the inventory tab, you can see all the inventory items they've got across all their sites and across all their subscriptions. So this includes both the built-in inventory. If they had bought premium support or that HP printer or any other types of inventory items that you've defined, they'll appear in this list as well. The sites tab lists all their sites. So we fully support multi-site customers. The users tab lists all the customer users for this account. And so customers are able to create their own additional users and delegate permissions, as they see fit. They can give permissions to specific sites or specific aspects of the dashboard. The integrations tab shows all the known integrations with this customer, right? And so we know about Meraki. There's a deep link to the Meraki dashboard. We know about Umbrella. That's their Umbrella account details. And there's a deep link to their account. And so we don't replace any of the vendor dashboards. We just provide automation during provisioning, and then we allow the customer to make selected changes. Similar for ConnectWise, that's their ConnectWise ID here. The audit log shows all the changes to the customer account, both from the admin dashboard as well as the customer portal. I will show one other thing before I show the dashboard, and that's this new feature we have called Blueprint. And so when you define your own inventory items in the catalog, we don't have built-in steps for those items, built-in order steps, but you can define your own in Blueprint. Currently, we just have manual tasks. However, we do plan on adding webhooks and other automation tasks. And so, for instance, you can add a manual task when provisioning a Cisco Duo item that instructs your staff to do whatever it is they need to do to provision Duo for your customer. Same thing for your services. So if they buy premium custom support license and you've got another system where you register that, you can have a step to remember to register that. In the upcoming releases we'll have soon, we're going to add support for more vendors as well as generic webhooks. And so you'll be able to automate some of these tasks. All right, let's have a look at the customer dashboard. And so once that order is complete, this account's created. And at the same time, the customer gets an email saying, congratulations, your account is ready. Hardware is on the way. Click this link to activate your account. They click the link and they'll be taken to a branded portal that looks like this. They'll first be instructed to set their password, and then then they'll see this page. All right, and so this is I'm on all sites here, and so this is giving them an overview of all their sites in their organization. And I'm on the security page, and so this is really all about Umbrella and any other security related services. So on the dashboard, this is giving them an overview of their security stance across their org. They can see the number of the devices that are currently online out of the total. They can see how many requests have been blocked. All right, so we can see this laptop is having some issues. You can see the total requests. You can see intrusions if there are any. So there's no intrusions here, which is great. Similarly for threats, there's no threats detected here. If there were, you'd see them in this table. The network requests tab shows you a detailed time analysis of the requests. So if I look at processed, you can get an idea of when this workplace is busy and when it's not. Same thing for usage. You can see uploads and downloads. If I go into the Sites tab, now you're looking at a site-oriented view of the security stance. All right, and so we can see a list of all the sites here. In this customer, they've all got security appliances, so MXs or Z3s. The little green shield indicates that it's connected to Umbrella. The green bars here, you can see, that means it's online, whereas the black means it's offline. I can see the policies that have been applied to the sites and then the number of licenses in each site. So if enabled, the customer here can make changes to the policy. They can go click a particular site, click Assign Policies, and then they'll see the policies that you've predefined for them. And so perhaps the customer knows that Chris Glinker, he's the salesperson. And so they can go Road Warrior, click OK, and then that's going to assign that policy to that site. And what that means is it'll apply the policy to Chris Glinker's appliance. And if Chris Glinker has any secure roaming clients, like via AnyConnect, it's going to apply the policy to those as well. The other thing they can do from this dashboard is create their own remote workers. So this account doesn't have any available licenses, but if they were to go back to the web store and buy additional licenses, that order is going to provision automatically. Right? There's going to be no manual steps because you've already defined the policies for them. We've already done all the account setup. So that order will complete within minutes. They'll see the number of available licenses increase here, and then they're able to create remote workers on their own. This will pop up a wizard, all right, and will guide them through setting up a new user account, which will be one of their staff members, selecting one of the predefined policies, right, from this list here. They can optionally select a security appliance if they've got one available, and then they click Finish. And then that's going to send an email to that employee saying, hey, welcome. Please click this link to activate your account. And then the same sort of process will happen where, say, if it's Chris Glinker, he'll get that email, click the link, set up his password for Encapto MSP. And then when he logs in, he's only going to have access to his own account, so we won't be able to see the other sites. And he'll see all the relevant items that are in his site. And so, he's got a Z3, so he's going to see the Z3 status. If he goes to the security page, from here you can download the secure roaming client. Right, so this is AnyConnect. You can click the download button and off he goes. Now this download button looks simple. We've actually got a whole bunch of smarts behind the scenes. So we dynamically build an installer. And so when Chris Glinker downloads and install from this link, it'll actually link it to Chris Glinker's home site. And so in Encapto MSP, we've got triggers that watch this, and it'll automatically apply the policies that are on Chris Glinker's home site to his secure roaming clients. So this is both for first-time setup. So when he first installs it, it's going to get the Road Warrior policy if that was applied. But if the manager then later changes Chris Glinker's policy to something else, or remote worker policy, or some sort of combination, because he can assign multiple, it will automatically apply that to all of Chris Glinker's remote sites. And so that's that's really showing how co-management works in Encapto MSP. And so there's still a little bit of stuff that you need to do first time. For instance, set up the policies, but the customer is able to self-service themselves, right? And they can go and buy additional licenses if they need to, and set up more employees, all without contacting support. And they can do it whenever they want to do that. Okay, so that kind of sums up Cisco Umbrella in Encapto MSP. There's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do in Encapto, both from the customer dashboard and from the admin screen, but I'll leave that for another demo. Now I'll hand over to Daryl.
All right, thank you, Mike. I'll just bring up my presentation again.
Thanks, Mike. Great demo. So I just hopefully that really provides some insights into how Encapto MSP helps MSPs to perhaps go to market with more compelling business subscription-based propositions as a managed service. Stand them up quickly in a web store. But and we showed Umbrella predominantly, bit of Meraki in there as well. But of course, there are other products and services that can be included in that buying journey. Secondly, how MSPs can build efficiencies into their operational processes. That firstly protect margins, but really importantly help meet the SMB price point. And lastly, reduce support burden for the MSP. Really improve proof of value for those business customers, thinking about that self-service need, illuminating that proof of value, what the customer can go in and do. It really is, a good co-management opportunity, that speaks to several value props. So I just want to talk a little bit now about the operating model, how Encapto works with vendors, with distribution, and, also with the MSP or the partners, and a little really about the commercial model. So, and the key points there really is people often ask about what is our umbrella integration? How does it work? Do we sell the licenses? Well, the answer to that is no. We enable partners to deliver the MSLA based license type. So, partners will require umbrella MSSP, and they will need to have MSLA license enabled as well. And when that is done, we can go in and then we can automatically procure the licenses. So, when you saw the web store flows there, once that order completes and the auto provisioning runs, we will just automatically procure MSLA licenses for that particular customer, create the tenancies for them, do all of that in the background. We support Umbrella SIG, so Secure Internet Gateway, and also DNS Essentials. And again, you can see we can do that via the secure roaming, the secure clients, as well as attach them to Meraki appliances as well. The vendor relationship model with the partners, we don't change that. We don't sell umbrella licenses. Partners go about and procure Umbrella and Meraki as they would usually. So, either via distribution or if they're on direct model. Encapto is really just the glue that brings everything together and provides a lot of the automation. Commercial model, how do we work with partners? Well, you've seen hopefully quite a robust platform. There's much more in there. There's no upfront cost to get going with that. It's really just it's a pay-as-you-grow model, relatively barrierless entry. So once you sign up, you can pick a plan and get going straight away and start enjoying all of the platform. We bill for services under management. So, if you've got one MX or one umbrella licenses, you'll just pay a small fee per month for those. And as you scale, of course, we just charge a small fee for each additional service that you've got under management. There are provisioning fees. They are charged once off when we go through the provisioning process. And commercially, we engage directly with the partners at the moment, but also we're working with distribution models at the moment who are looking to better enable their MSP partners and really accelerate those as a service outcomes and managed services for partners. So I think that's next slide, Adam. I think I've got a little bit on pricing here. So pricing plans are here. Everything's on our website, but as you can see, you can get started from $280 a month, and to suit the smaller SMB or people just dipping their toe in the water or getting started with Encapto, and it goes right through to carrier scale type plans as well. But everything's on Encapto.com pricing. You can just go have a look, and plenty about how we charge for our services. Okay. Did we have any questions during the call, Adam?
It looks like there's no questions today, so I think everyone will get their 10 or 15 minutes back. But if any of the speakers have any final words, raise your hand and let me know. We can share that with the participants. Otherwise, we can wrap it up there.
Yeah, look, I'll offer some closing comments. Really around, the events over the last few years, coupled with the current economic outlook, is really good news for managed service providers. There's been, quite a significant shift in how businesses are buying and how they use technology. Hybrid work's here to stay. Businesses are looking for offers that support this specifically. Offers that speak to supporting and building resilience in the modern workplace, and that's primarily through improved connectivity and, of course, security. Security is becoming an absolute priority for SMBs. So managed service providers who can transition to servicing the needs of these SMB customers, they'll see, they'll be able to create long-term value partnerships with their customers, get an improved share of wallet, get more money off the table. Meraki and Umbrella really are the perfect duo for delivering the needs of SMB connectivity. And speaking of duo, watch this space for more SMB fit managed service integrations in Encapto. We will continue to add products and services in as we move forward. So thank you everyone for joining. And any other closing comments?
No, just again, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to our speakers, Mike, Chris, and Daryl. And we'll be in touch with everyone with the recording later this week or next week, so you can share that with your colleagues. But for now, that's everything. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.